On this video, we will discuss blood types with a particular focus on the ABO typing. There are so many misconceptions about blood typing. Some believe that you can eat based on your blood type, or that your blood type defines your personality. According to some, you can even find a perfect relationship based on your blood types. A lot of people are confused about blood types. I believe that it is partially because historically you had to get a blood test in order to marry. In truth, this had nothing to do with being a good match, but it was to prevent spreading of diseases. What probably explains part of the confusion is that there are many different blood groups and ways of classifying them. The most important ones are ABO blood group, which we will focus on, and RH grouping. Interestingly, we shared ABO and RH blood groups with our relatives, apes, chimpanzees, bonobos, and gorillas. Often students find from textbooks these donor-recipient tables and they think that they have to memorize all this. For heaven's sakes, don't do it. That's why you have me to teach it. We are going to go through all what this stuff means so that it makes sense and you don't have to memorize a thing. Let's start with a little history. The blood groups were discovered in around 1900 by Carl Landsteiner. He would wonder why some people were saved as a result of blood transfusion, but some died. Isn't that a good question? In fact, in 1930, he received a Nobel Prize for his work on this. Blood types are inherited genetic traits, so they are just like other things that we inherit, which again makes me think of this date by blood typing. What if I come up with matched by earlobe type? That makes just as much sense. The thing that I believe that most people find confusing is that ABO blood system is not inherited in a Mendelian fashion. So it gets a little complicated because we have 3 alleles. Don't worry, we are going to go through this using a comparison. Red blood cells look a little like donuts. They do not have holes in the middle, but rather a depression, but look past it and focus on donuts and sprinkles. Some people have donuts that have on their surface little sprinkles that looks like A's. We are going to call those people type A. Some people have donuts with little b's, we call them type B. Some people are kind of greedy and have both A and B sprinkles, we call them type AB. And some people do not have sprinkles at all, we call them type O. I think that this confuses students sometimes because people think that there are O sprinkles. There are none. In other parts of the world, we call them type 0, which makes more sense. These A, B, AB, and O are traits that individual expresses. So what I'm trying to tell you is that donuts are the blood cells and sprinkles are antigens on their surface. We designate different types of antigens either as A or B. So A people have A antigens on their surface. B people have B antigens on their surface. AB people have both, and plain donuts have neither. Alleles in ABO system are located in the long arm of chromosome 9. Remember, this is not Mendelian inheritance, so instead of 2, we worry about all 3 alleles. We are going to use lowercase I for base, so that's our plain donut. We are using capital I with a superscript A for antigen A. So that is the plain donut with A sprinkles. Finally, we have third allele, which is B antigen. So just by having these three alleles, you can actually make all 4 blood group phenotypes. Let's see how this works. A people have A sprinkles. There are 2 ways how one can inherit a phenotype. Remember, this would be the A blood group, outcome of the genotype. Option 1, you can be homozygous, which, as you remember, means that both parents give you this allele. Or option 2, you inherit the trait to have A sprinkles only from one parent, while the other one gave you a recipe for just plain donuts. This would be heterozygous genotype. And the same is true for B people. They either inherit B-type allele from both parents, or one of their parents give an allele for B-type and another gives a plain donut. However, to be AB blood type, there is only one option. You must have inherited A allele from one parent and B allele from the other one. Finally, to be O-type, you will have inherited instructions for only plain donuts from both parents. One more thing that you need to know before we can talk about transfusions and who can donate to who. That has to do with antibodies. So we have been talking about A and B antigens. These were particles on cell surface. And please note that in reality there are lots and lots of those on the surface of all cells, but we have focused only on those on the red blood cells. Job of these antigens is to help cells to identify each other. Many antigens are what we call self-antigens. They identify you as you. The problem is if you are exposed to foreign antigens. These would be strangers to your body. Let's see how that works. If you have all of the sudden antigens that are not from you and they are still inside your body is designed to tackle them by triggering your immune system to attack these invaders. So you make antibodies against foreign antigens. If you have never seen antibodies before, this is what they look like. You can see antigen binding to antibodies hypervariable region. It's like a lock and a key mechanism. The idea is that you are exposed to antigens that are foreign to you. Then you will make antibodies against them. And if antigens and antibodies come together, you will get a reaction. This is known as a bad match between the donor and recipient, which results in blood clotting. This is what normal blood should look like. On a microscope slide, it looks very nice. All cells are evenly spread out. But if donor blood and recipient blood are a bad match, the particles in blood clump together. Now our nice fluid-like blood becomes solid and clots like glue. This is bad. This is why understanding blood types is vital for blood transfusions. And this is why this table exists. Again, you do not need to memorize it. Just remember that no foreign antigens are allowed. So now we are going to tackle all 4 blood types and mix them with other blood types. And we will see what will happen and why some transfusions are okay and some are not. For a person that has antigen A, this means that they are blood type A. Antigen B is foreign and they have antibodies against B antigen. If we give type A blood, there is no problem. That is what their own blood is anyhow. But if you transfuse blood type B, this transfusion blood will contain B antigens. And you have a problem. Clotting happens. This is because B antigen combines with B antibodies. And blood clumps. If you give AB, it as well will be a problem. While A would be okay, this AB blood transfusion would still have B antigens. Finally, if you give O, remember O was our plain donut. So there are no antigens, therefore no antibody reaction, so this is okay. And we can use the same logic for a recipient with B blood type. This recipient would have antibodies against antigen A. So if A is given in transfusion, the blood will clot. Giving B type blood to type B recipient is okay. But giving AB is a problem due to the antibodies against A, so there is clotting, although B part would have been okay. And finally, type O donation to B recipient. It was okay, as there was no antigens on our plain donut. Let's look at a recipient for AB. For this one, there are no antibodies against A or B because this blood type itself had both. So we can receive blood from all, type A, type B, type AB, and of course type O. Finally, let's look at recipient with blood type O. This individual would have antibodies against both A and B. So giving blood type A or type B or type AB, all of this would be a problem. So this type can only receive blood from another type O. Therefore, to summarize, type AB is universal recipient. You cannot give them anything that they would not already have. So they are happy to receive from any blood type. Type O instead is universal donor. This is because they are plain donuts and do not excite anyone's immune system. Finally, I will say a few words about Rh blood groups. Note, however, that this is a larger topic on its own and one that we will not fully tackle on this class. There are 52 different Rh agglutinogens, also known as Rh factors. The most common ones are C, D, and E. If someone is Rh positive, this means that there is a presence of D antigen. And in fact, this is approximately 85% of Americans. Whether someone becomes Rh negative with anti-Rh antibodies, which would be a problem in general, this requires a pregnancy and mixing of fetuses and mother's blood. If this is the case, there is a significant risk on the second pregnancy.